I have been doing this, and when I tell people this, they go, when did you start? Like when you were born? So I've been doing this 42 years, and I started when I was 23, I think. And, and I could have started earlier, only I had no clue what in the hell I was doing in life.
Hmm.
So, it just didn't make sense for me I didn't have any idea about it. I didn't even know when I got into it that I was going to stay in it. It's just that I graduated college with degrees that were unemployable.
Hmm.
So, philosophy and psychology
Yeah.
and history and music. And I grew up at a time when people, uh, you listen to people talk about the fact that corporations no longer were going to be your lifetime job, that you were going to change and have five different jobs over the course of your career. And,
Hmm.
you couldn't count on retirement, you couldn't count on pension, you couldn't count on even being hired the next year because they were just going to slice and dice you anytime they needed to. So as I was thinking about that, and I was actually in the restaurant business, I was going to be in the restaurant management business, and that business is just like brutal. I mean, you're working, 7 days a week, depending on whenever they need you
Hmm.
and whatever they need you for. So I did everything from hosting at the front to getting a lot of money working nighttime shifts for a fairly expensive restaurant in the area, um, to lunch shifts, to cooking, to sous chef, to bartending, to you did everything, right? That's what you did to be a manager. And after doing that for about a year, I went, oh my God, I can't do this. And this is not a career. This is like a lifetime, forever. You don't know what you're doing. And you never knew your schedule. I mean, it was like week to week and then even day to day. Because if people didn't show up, bam, you were on the phone, need you in. It's like, oh, for what, $25,000 and the potential of $40,000, it just was like not worth it. So real estate, you know, was something that I never thought that I was going to be in sales ever.
Hmm.
I am not a salesperson, right?
Yeah.
Just not what I am. And I had to go through a whole kind of mental uh, juxtaposition of what it is to be in real estate sales. And what I came up with was that if you look at, and again, going back to philosophy, so I read economics, I read Adam Smith, The Wealth of Nations, I read all kinds of things about how the world works. And that was what I went to school for, learn how to think. And what I realized was that real estate is the foundation of everybody's wealth. If you look at generational wealth, it's all based on real estate. So while Rockefeller made a bunch of money in oil, what he really did was he invested in real estate, and then that passed down generation after generation. And his money did too, but most of the family didn't make that much money. Neither did Vanderbilt's. They were great people, railroads at the time, but their money didn't pass down. Their real estate passed down, and that's what keeps everybody going. That the kids don't get a chance to touch it.
Hmm.
It's just it keeps rolling without them. So I had to think about it and go, okay, if that's the foundation of all wealth, then that's where I need to be. First of all, right?
Yeah.
Be where the money's at, and then
Hmm.
and the second part is sales versus really what I'm doing is I'm helping people, and the middle class in America is what has made us so different from every other society, even the United States. The middle class was not a thing until the late 40s and the 50s. And it became the central part of the economic driver of United States capitalism. Because prior to that, Roosevelt's, Vanderbilt's, all those guys were the barons, uh, Carnegie, right? All the names, Mellon, all the names you can think of were the barons of money. And the depression was caused mostly because they went broke. It wasn't because poor people went broke, because there was really no middle class, and the poor people were already poor.
Yeah.
So it didn't really change them. It changed the upper class. And that's when we started getting into helping build a middle class. And I thought, well, okay, if I'm helping build people have some kind of security and it's through largely education, then I'm really pretty much doing a social service. And I feel better about helping people do that. So when I talk to people, they go, "You're not like any real estate agent we've ever dealt with."
Mhm.
And I go, "Because I'm not. I'm
Yeah.
really not here to sell you anything." But what I did learn is I have to know the sales scripts
Mhm. Mhm.
because I could waste a bunch of time with people if I don't qualify them better and know who they are before I get into really understanding what their motivation is and their desire is. And I can't help them if they don't know what they want to do.
Mhm.
So all of that helped me refine my idea of what being a real estate salesperson was. And it's really about helping other people, which, you can help more families if you make more money, right?
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
I make more money, I can give more of it away and I can help other people more.
Yeah.
So all of those things were the foundation for me being in real estate in the first place. And the thing I asked of the universe was, don't give me something that's going to make me bored.
Mhm.
Well, I have never been bored in real estate.
Yeah.
It,
Something
it
new
does
every time.
it does take some time to kind of reorient myself and reinvent myself sometimes, but I've never been bored.